Traces of oil have been spotted in the sea in the area where a missing aircraft is thought to have disappeared. However, objects seen by rescue teams are not thought to be related to the AirAsia aircraft, which had 162 people on board. Well, joining me now is salvage expert Captain John Noble, director at Constellation Marine. Very good to see you, John. The first thing in terms of trying to find this aircraft, if that's the greatest possibility is that it has come down, is visible identification of wreckage. Indeed.
There's almost bound to be something on the surface of the sea that will give the searchers an indication, A, that it has gone down, and B, of location.
Difficult, though, in the conditions, and a large area, of course, to be searched.
It's an area, I'm told, about the size of California, so that is large. Conditions there are not terribly good anyway, with all the rainstorms and stuff that you get. So visibility is not great, but it's not impossible, and it's the Mark I eyeball, once again, that will probably give the first definitive answers.
I mean, thoughts turn, because I suppose of the region, to MH370, but it seems very, very different circumstances.
Yes, it is. I mean, the sea depth here is relatively shallow, 50, 80 metres, as opposed to the 6,000 metres we're talking about where the MH370 might be. So from that point of view, you don't have the technical problems of depth. You still have to find it, you still have to recover it, etc., but it is not as difficult by a long way.
And of course, because no deviation, it seems, from the flight plan.
Yeah, that's correct, no deviation. And also you've got a lot of equipment close by in Singapore and indeed probably in Indonesia as well.
We're also very familiar from the search for MH370, the issue of the flight recorders, the so-called black boxes, and pings. If it has gone down in ocean, these pings are very important in terms of trying to locate that equipment.
Yes, well, they say the pings have got a range of about 5 miles, so they need to get quite close to the location to pick them up. But I'm quite sure if they have the 30-day life, and they find wreckage on the surface, they should be able to get to the pings relatively quickly, I would have thought.
And what do you think they'll be looking at in terms of what might have brought this aircraft down, as I say, with the caveat if it has come down? The weather conditions clearly one of the main things that they're looking at.
Well, I know the area well from the mariner's point of view, and you get a lot of thunderstorms, tropical rain activity, and having to fly through it must be quite a challenge to the pilots. I wouldn't like to speculate as to what actually happened, but it does appear that the plane has come down and that they have to try and go through the recovery phase now.
And if and when it gets to that recovery phase, back to that issue you talk about depth here, if there are large parts of aircraft to be recovered, it should be quite a lot easier.
I would have thought it would be quite straightforward. It has been done before. There was a TWA off the eastern seaboard in Nova Scotia, similar sorts of depths, and they got the whole plane back.
Okay, Captain Noble, thanks very much indeed for your expertise and sharing that with us, Captain John Noble there.